welcome back to Hike Oregon. Today we're going to talk about the Zpacks Arc Haul. This is my very good friend Randi here today on my channel. I'm so excited to have her as a guest, and she is going to be talking about her Zpacks Arc Haul backpack. Now, this is a highly researched backpack. Everyone wants it. It's like the coolest piece of gear right now, and so I thought I'd have her on here to talk about it since I don't have one and I can't review it. So she is going to talk all about her backpack that she used for about 250 miles on the Oregon Pacific Crest Trail this past summer. So she knows all the ins and outs of her backpack. So Randi, please talk about it.
Yeah, so I got my backpack, and like she said, I did do a little over 200 miles on the Oregon PCT, and I definitely figured out some things that I like about it and some things that I did not. So
as with every piece of gear.
Right. Right.
The Zpacks Arc Haul is made out of a 4.8 ounce gridstop fabric, and it weighs 24 ounces without any added features and costs $299. Any other features such as shoulder pouches, extra lumbar support, and hip belt pouches are extra costs, and they do add some extra weight.
I do like the arc system.
So what she means by the arc system is you can kind of see there's light through here, and that is the backpack actually arcing away from her body, which is nice for airflow.
I also liked it because it allowed me to put the back of the waist belt exactly where I needed it on my back, whereas with some other packs you can't adjust it down to the very half inch, and I needed that, so this works really well for me. I also got the extra pad, lumbar pad on it, which gives it a little bit of extra cushion. I really enjoy that, and then also the arc makes it seem like it has sort of a shock absorber component to it, so when you're walking down a steep incline and you're kind of pounding your feet a little bit, it definitely takes the pressure off of your back quite a lot.
And you can adjust the arc, right, depending on your back, because everyone's back is different, right?
Yes.
My back, for example, has like a really deep, concave
spine curvature.
Yeah, so I have like a lot of room back here, where some people have a very straight back, so you can kind of tailor it to your needs, which
and
is
also
so cool.
Your load,
and your load,
of your load, you can do a little less or a little more arc depending on how your load out is at that moment.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite things.
So here are the load lifters. The cool thing about this backpack is that you can set the load lifter depending on how wide your shoulders are. Hers are in more because she's a lady, and ladies generally don't have as wide of shoulders. But if you are a man, you can definitely set it. It's about 1.5 inches or so wider on each side, so that would make it 3 inches wider, which is really cool, and that would also obviously shift this over. A lot of adjustability on this pack, which is super awesome here. And then another thing is these drawstrings here are really nice because you can cinch down the backpack if you don't have a lot of stuff in it, like she doesn't have much stuff in it right now. You could really cinch it down tight so it's not like moving around a whole lot.
I also love the adjustment of the hip belts. Got the 4 points. I do like that because you can make it.
Oh, that's really nice.
With the way that my hips are, I usually make it tighter on the top and a little looser on the bottom. With the puffy coat, it's a little bit harder to tell, but it's really adjustable there, and I like that a lot.
Most backpacks don't have that. They just have one, so this is actually really cool.
I also like the big mesh pocket in the back.
Yeah, this thing is huge. It's gigantic. I think it's nice personally that it kind of cinches at the top, because a lot of backpacks do have the mesh pocket, but they're just like a mesh pouch. They don't necessarily cinch at the top, so that's really nice to keep stuff in, because when you go under a tree or something, your stuff isn't going to fall out.
And it's also pretty snag proof. I've rubbed it up against some branches and stuff like that, and it doesn't really get caught on anything. So I do like that about it. I also like the side pockets. They're very deep, and you can put two smart water bottles in them side by side.
This is huge. If I do that, it's like, you can fit 2 smart water bottles.
And then I also would put like just a tissue, nose rag, or anything like that would fit in between the smart water bottles. They're crazy deep and really easy to get to. You can see I can reach the back right there with no problem. I also did like the big roll top closure of my pack. Yeah, the roll top feature I did like. It opened up very large, and I could get my things in there. 60. It goes up to 60.
The whole thing is 60. So if you did want to stuff it, you could.
Yeah, it goes up to 60.
Okay.
I did not have 60 liters.
No, and you shouldn't. And you shouldn't. But if you have a bare canister, you will need something this big.
Yes,
for sure.
Exactly. If you want it to fit inside of it. Yeah, I did like the roll top. It opens wide, and you can see what's in there. Once you get it packed a certain way, it's really easy to duplicate every time. There's a little learning curve, at least there was for me, of actually figuring out the balance of this pack because it is just so tubular.
Yeah, but there's no organization really, so you just pack stuff in.
Yeah, you got to figure out what works for you, and it took me quite a while to get it dialed in, but once I did, then it was really super easy just to do it every time the same way.
Did you find, because it is a big tube, did you find it sometimes difficult or annoying because there's no organization really?
Yes, I did until I got it dialed in. There's sometimes you need maybe your ditty bag or your something different, so you're like, well, I want this on the top, but it's on the bottom. So then you pull your stuff out and get that, and so you're like, okay, I want to put it on the top now, but then you put something else in the bottom, and it's like, oh wait, no, I need that too. So then you figure out how to pack it, and then it's good. But it took me a while. Yeah, really, it did.
Definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, there is a learning curve.
Especially from coming from backpacks that are like super organizational.
Yeah, they have
like
all the different
Aura,
pockets.
I have like 6 different pockets that I put stuff in, organize and stuff like that. And then you have a brain that has the pockets and all of that. So that would be a learning curve for me for sure.
I do feel like you can do it at the time or order them later, and I think I will order them, but they have extra pockets that you can fit on the side, the mesh pockets, and go there. So I could put things that I would want quickly, but not like on hand.
Like first aid kit,
that
exactly, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, where you don't want to dig into the bottom of your pack, but you also don't need it like right here. Right. So I think I'm going to order some of those for our next outing.
Okay, and now Randi is going to talk about some things she did not like about the backpack, because of course we all have things we don't like about our gear, but we put up with them because the pros are way better than the cons.
So I would say that the number one thing that I disliked about this backpack, in fact I almost hated it until I found a solution, is the shoulder straps. They are, for one, they're really rough on the inside. So I hike in a tank top and it just touches a little bit of the bare skin and literally would rub the skin off. It was just very uncomfortable. In addition to that, the actual padding is not real substantial. It compresses very easily. And then the thinness of this strap right here pretty much makes all of the weight of the backpack on what, a half an inch wide compressed down to like that thin, and it bruised my shoulder, my collarbone really bad. So I dealt with that for a while until a trail angel showed me how to cut a piece of my sit pad off and like zip tie it in there, and that's really actually super comfortable, and I'm just going to leave it that way. I don't feel like their extra shoulder pads that they have as an option on their website would be any better. I think it's probably made out of the same material as the shoulder pads themselves, and it would just compress also, and the material is still rough. So this is a better option. I hiked with this for probably about 150 miles, and other than getting a little extra sodium, it was totally fine. The other thing I disliked about this pack is the pockets. They're big and they're waterproof, so that's good. But you try to get this zipped or unzipped one-handed, I kid you not, is like literally impossible.
Oh God.
So you get pulled, it's so flexible. It's like you can't do it. So then you're trying to do this, right? Hiking down the trail. It's impossible to do. It's like you literally have to stop, and I mean, maybe some people can do it, but they have to be really talented. And then you can maybe zip it this way, but trying to zip it away from you, it just doesn't work. I feel like they offer good storage, but not on the grab and go. My solution for that was a fanny pack.
So another thing that Randi was talking about that she kind of didn't like about the purchasing process of this backpack was they told her if you are in between sizes, they recommend going a size smaller with the hip belt. Do you think that had you not gone with their recommendation, so had you got a hip belt larger, that the pockets wouldn't be so far back?
Sure. I mean, because the padding of the hip belt ends right here.
Right.
Which barely cups my hip bone.
Right.
And so if the hip belt were the medium size, I would imagine it would be, ish here maybe.
So do you think it would be then easier to open the pocket if it would, no?
Not really, because it would put it like, maybe up here? Maybe a tiny bit easier.
Yeah, but it's,
maybe.
I think what makes the pocket hard to open is that it's so floppy.
Yeah.
It's so much fabric, and even if it's full, it's going to still be floppy because of how you attach it, because it's an extra feature. So you do attach it to the backpack. It's not sewn on the backpack.
Because this one is fuller, and you still, when you pull it, it's
moves. Just impossible.
Yeah, and if you're holding a trekking pole, you're like literally have to tuck them under and then try to do this. Like you look like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So yeah, my solution was a fanny pack, and that worked great.
I've seen a lot of thru hikers with fanny packs too. I think that's a
viable solution.
Fair solution. And you could also skip the cost of the pockets. Like if you thought, okay, I don't want the pockets at all because it is extra purchase that you have to make, you could just skip those altogether and just get a really nice fanny pack.
Yes, exactly.
Because I guess the nice thing about this backpack is that you have more room for a fanny pack.
Yeah, you do.
Whereas,
definitely.
For example, with my Aura, the padding and the hip belt and everything, it goes to right here. So I could not wear a fanny pack because it would be on top of that. I think it would be really uncomfortable.
Items that I wasn't going to get into while I was hiking down the trail, I did go ahead and put in here. But then my fanny pack held my snacks and my chapstick, sunscreen, that sort of stuff that I would need, bug spray, immediately without having to do a whole bunch of setting things down and unzipping things.
Yeah.
Really, the hip belt annoys me that I ordered the small, and there's no way that this would ever be too big for me. I don't care. I could lose 20 pounds and it's still not going to be too big. Yeah. So I think that going with a medium size, bringing it maybe out here.
Because your hip bones are where your hip bones are. It doesn't matter how big you are or how much extra weight you're carrying on your body. And ideally, the padded part of the belt should be wrapping around your iliac crest, which is the center, like your hip bone right here, this part. And so it should be wrapping around here. So her hip belt should actually end right here, and it ends a little bit before that. So really it should have been a different size. How do you know that when you're ordering it online? The recommendation is to go up a size rather than down a size because, as you can see here, these are the poles where you tighten the hip belt. So even if she got, 2 sizes bigger, she could cinch it all the way down if she wanted to. So yeah, this is kind of what it looks like.
The sleeping pad straps down there.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Didn't even realize that. So you can put your sleeping pad or your sleeping bag or whatever you wanted down there. So
they have the availability to put an ice axe loop on here, but I didn't do that. I felt like I would get caught on stuff, and if I wanted to do the ice axe, you could just stick it in the side pocket. I've seen hikers do that. So that was my theory for the ice axe instead of having the loop.
And what is this for?
This goes like that.
Oh, to cinch it down even more. Or a bear can.
Yep, a bear can or something like that. And I just
don't
have that done.
Wow, so as you can tell, there is so much adjustability on this pack. It's almost a little overwhelming when you first get it, I would say. But you can really dial it in however you want. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this backpack. And that's why so many people like it, because you can really adjust it to whatever you want. And we will put the price and everything down below. And we just mentioned it is a little overwhelming when you first get this backpack, but don't fret. The Zpacks people are awesome, and on their website they have a ton of tutorial videos, and that will help you get your backpack all dialed in for your next hike. Thank you so much, Randi, for being on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for watching the Zpacks Arc Haul review, and I will catch you on the next adventure.